Hi, John Freeman here with Noisemakers.com. Today I'm going to give you a tour of my home studio. Alright, this is my setup here. So I'm running Pro Tools, and I pretty much do everything in the box these days. So I do all my production, all of my tracking, editing, mixing, mastering, everything is in the box. So I've been around long enough to remember all of the cool outboard gear and everything that I used in the studio back in the day, and man, I'm glad to have everything total recall and in my system. So I love being in the box. So first off, I'm got a basic desk here. This is an IKEA desk, and it's just a basic black desk. I think 150 bucks at IKEA, something like that. And I'm running a AOC monitor, a widescreen. It's a 29-inch wide screen rather than having two screens. I used to have two screens, and now I just have a one wide one. I'm the kind that likes to have a little keyboard in front of me. I guess it's not that little. It's a 61 key keyboard. I do play. That was my first instrument, was a piano when I was 8 years old. I started learning music on piano, so I like to play. And the M Audio is a great little keyboard here. It's got the pads on it. It's got the faders and transports, and some also some knobs here that I can use to control virtual instruments. And I'm a fan of the wheels. I've had some of the old school keyboards and synths. Always had those on there, and I just became very accustomed to them. So I like them. Now I have a regular Mac keyboard here, but I have an overlay. These are the rubber overlays that you can get. So when I'm not doing Pro Tools stuff, I can just take it off and just use it as a regular keyboard. So I like it, but it's also got the shortcuts on there, although I've got a lot of them memorized. But if I forget, it's kind of a handy little way to see how to get my shortcuts going again. My telephone there. I got an extra set of speaker stands waiting for a set of NS10s that I'm going to have in that area because I need some smaller reference monitors. Now these are my favorite. These are Meyer HD1 flat reference monitors. I really became accustomed to these monitors working for one of my mentors many years ago, and just love these. They're not that common, and they're not that cheap. They're probably about $10,000 a pair if you buy them brand new. Not that easy to find, but I got these used, but they were in very good condition. I think they're just brand spanking new. The cones are less than a year old on them, and they're active monitors, ported. Amazing speakers. Of course, it's what you get used to. So love those speakers. I use a trackball. I actually use the mini Orbit instead of the big trackball like a lot of other guys like them. I actually used a lot of the big trackballs years ago, but I don't know. I ended up with this Orbit, and I kind of like it. It's got a little jog shuttle kind of thing on it too, which I like, which is handy. I live in Denver, so I'm a big Broncos fan. Go Broncos! This is pretty much where all of the horsepower is coming from. I run a Pro Tools HDX rig, and I bought this case from a company called Sonnet, and they make a case that actually houses the Mac Pro. So this is one of those cylinder style Mac Pros in there, and I have to look at the specs, but it's a pretty fast one. I built this myself, put everything in the case, and it's got 3 card slots on it, and so I run my HDX card in there. I've got another card that actually has 2 SSD 1 terabyte drives on it that I use for my sound library, and then another card that actually is has multiple ports on it, so I can run extra SSD drives right here. So in this setup, I actually have SSD drives in here. So I wanted ultra quiet drives. I used to have drives that were so noisy, and I wanted hot swappable drives. So In this one, I run the Samsung, I believe these are 850s or 750s, I don't remember. But they're solid state drives, 1 TB, hot swappable. And I have 4 of them in here in a RAID drive setup. So this is where I do all of my projects. All my projects are housed on the RAID drive system. And then I have a backup drive here, which is also hot swappable. This is a 4 TB here, so this actually backs up all of the terabyte drives in the other bays. And then, like I said, I've got 2 more SSD 1 TB drives on a card inside. I think in another video I'll actually open this thing up and actually show you what it looks like on the inside. But very cool. It's I think it's a 6-space rack mount. Unfortunately, I don't have it in a rack right now, but I'm going to put it into a silent rack at some point when I pick one up, and just to keep any noise, any hard drive noise or anything out. So for my interface, I am running the Pro Tools Omni, and great little mic pre combo with the headphones, and it's got I think it's got simultaneous. I can do 4 simultaneous inputs. It's got 8 outputs on it. I can run phantom power. I've got all the fun settings right here, the pad and everything, and then my monitoring section here, so I can control my one set of speakers with it, and just my headphones. I thought this was kind of cool. I did this in another studio install that I did. This is a Furman line conditioner, but it's a sequenced power distribution. So you can actually set this up to actually fire up your studio in sequence. So obviously you want your monitors to come on last so you don't get any popping noises or anything. So it powers up everything in sequence. It fires up the drives, fires up the Omni, then the system, and everything. And then the monitors come on last, and then in reverse order when you turn it. So basically it uses a key, sort of like an engine. You just turn it on, turn it off. And you can have these as switches that are sequenced, or you can have them permanently on if you want in some cases. That's what I do. This thing runs 2 different power supplies for it inside of it. So those are sequenced also. So that's that rig. Right now for microphone, I'm using the Blue mic, and I'm liking it a lot. I've used a lot of the high-end mics. You know, I've used the CS800s from Sony. I've used all the Neumanns, things like that. For this studio, I've got a basic mic, and this is pretty much covers everything for me right now. Although I'd like to expand my mic collection at some point. So I just bring this out and set it up on my carpet here to do some vocals when I need to, and it works great. You know, I'm not a real fan of vocal booths or anything, so I like the open room sound. So running Pro Tools, I've got pretty much tons and tons of plugins that I'm running on the Pro Tools system. Probably too many to list. I'm a big Native Instrument fan too, as far as creative instruments. So I've got their complete ultimate bundle, which is amazing. So I love using all the battery stuff for all the drum machine stuff. I'm an old Akai MPC user. I actually had an Akai MPC 60 back in the day, and just got used to that style of programming. So I use the pads now on my keyboard, but the battery, Native Instruments battery is just amazing what you can do with samplers these days. My first sampler was an Ensoniq Mirage, the very first affordable sampler that came out, and I had 2 of them at the time. And it's amazing how far technology has come. So I'm just out of my mind in love with the in-the-box solution, and the power that you can get out of this system is amazing. Back when I worked in the studio a few years back, anything close to this, if you have the outboard gear and all that kind of stuff, would have been hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million worth of stuff in a studio. And now I'm able to do just about everything in the box. So I do play guitar and bass and drums, but I program my drums anymore. It's just so much faster than trying to get up a mic drum sound and everything, just to program the drums. And if you play drums, it's a lot easier. You can lay it out just like a drummer would play. And I'm experimenting actually with some virtual bass instruments to get the virtual sound. So I'm really into trying to get real world instruments to sound natural in a programming environment inside my system. So love the Inbox solution. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. If you want to know more about anything I have in the rig, I would like to do a separate video with opening up my system here and kind of showing you what the card layout is and how it works inside at some point. But that's it. That's my studio, and this is where I do all of my work right here. All right, thanks for watching, guys.